Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Inside. Today we are looking at Zombie Dice. This is a dice game from Steve Jackson Games, and it is for ages 10 and up. 2+ players, 10 to 20 minutes. The more players you have, the longer the game's going to go, but 10 minutes is about right. 2 players probably take less than that even. Now, my buddy Wyatt picked this up a while back, and I just bought this one because I like the game so much. It's stupid fun, very easy game, and there's not a lot to it. And it's Steve Jackson Games. I don't think I've ever bought anything from Steve Jackson Games that I was really disappointed with. It was all at least entertaining. He's a legend in the field, especially after the FBI raid for his Cyberpunk game book. But yeah, that was decades ago. So in here, we get 13 dice, and it literally plays in minutes. And you get a little container to put the dice in, too. So it's a real easy game. We'll go over it in another video on how to play. But there's not a lot to it, so this will be a fairly short video. I just wanted to open one since I finally got my own copy. And now I got this at Walmart on clearance because they had an overstock. They had a whole bunch of these, so I got it for about $5. Usually it runs about $12.95 or so. If you're paying more than $15 for it, look somewhere else because that's probably too much. Unless this is out of print by the time you go to buy it. But I think this is a nice, stupid, simple, fun game for pretty much anyone. It's really aimed at ages 10 and up because of the zombie nature of it. Otherwise, you could probably play with an 8-year-old. I think a smart 8-year-old wouldn't have a problem with it. But now this is really glued down, so you're going to have to put a little bit of work into it. They're really worried about people stealing this, apparently. Alright, so we got our little container here, and we've got a whole mess of dice. Now, one of my favorite things is dice. I own a lot of dice, an unhealthy amount for somebody that doesn't even really play role-playing games anymore. But you can't have too many. Well, you can, but it's nice to have more. So, the little container here is, inside is the rules. But it is plastic, so it's not going to crush too easily, which is nice. It's got the cool zombie sticker on it. And you can use this to roll with, I would guess, if you want. You don't really have to. We usually roll by hand. This is the first edition, 11th printing, May 2017, according to the side text. So they've gone through quite a few of these. But the rule sheet's pretty simple. It's a real easy game. And like I said, I'll do a how to play on it in another episode. I want to keep this one kind of simple. They do have a Mars Attacks dice game, which I've been looking all over for. And the only places I see it is way overpriced. And then there's Cthulhu dice, which I also really want. Which I've never seen a copy of. But it's a real easy game. This is basically the entire game's instructions right there. So that can go right back into the tub. And we'll look at these little dice. You got your brains on one side, like the green one has a brain, a brain, a brain, and then a boom. And then over here we've got a footstep, and across from that another footstep. So that's the green die. The yellow die has a brain on one side and a brain on the other. Directly across from it, then we've got an explosion, and on the other side's another explosion. Then we've got a footstep, and on the other side of the footstep is another footstep. Pretty simple. Red die, we've got an explosion, and directly across from that we've got another explosion. And then we've got a footstep, and then we've got an explosion, and then we've got a footstep. So the footsteps are across from each other. The explosion is across from the only brain on the die. So that's the 3 type of dice you get. The dice roll very easily. They're very nicely weighted die. They're not real cheap. They're pretty big D6s actually, but they roll really well. They're very well weighted, and they're very high quality. They're better than average, let's say. I know there's somebody who's going to get picky with me, but they're a lot better than I expected them to be. They're definitely higher quality. than the average game die. And you get the cool plastic container to put them in, so they store very easily. And you can roll with this, but use it as like a Farkle or something to roll. I'd prefer to roll them by hand, but you can do it either way. It depends on how technical you want to get. And it's got a little plastic lid, which, let's face it, this will probably break before anything else, but it fits right on there, and it's got a little tab to pull it off. So overall, this is a pretty nice quality game. It does get a little expensive because it can be about 13 to 16 bucks. I've never seen it in a store that wasn't a game store for more than 12 bucks. So game stores, if you buy this at Walmart or one of the other big box stores, it'll probably be around 12 or 13 bucks. If you buy it in a game store, it could be as much as 16. If you're paying more than that, find somewhere else to buy it from. You can buy it online for about 10 to 12 bucks. I think Amazon does it between 10 and 13. So it's worth it. It's a nice, fun, quick game if you're looking for something fast that plays easy and that pretty much anybody can play. It's a goofy premise, and zombies don't appeal to everybody, but it is a game that you can play relatively quickly just to kill a few minutes. I think the shortest game we played was about 5 minutes, and Wyatt crushed us pretty horribly. But that is what is inside Zombie Dice. There's not a lot to it, but it's a really fun game. I like it because of that, and I picked a copy up because it was $5. And I thought I'd share with you guys. So, as always, thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel, be sure and, watch the ads or whatever, and pick up one of my books, the trailer for which is at the end of the video, as always. But thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you on the next episode of What's Inside.